Hey, welcome to a new video. In June 2007, the mummy of Egypt's famous female pharaoh, Queen Hatshepsut, was finally identified. She ruled over Egypt for more than 2 decades during the 15th century BCE and was likely obese and diabetic, as evidenced by her mummified remains. Interestingly, her mummy was excavated as early as 1903, but was deemed unimportant and taken to a DNA laboratory at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. This queen is known for a striking choice of attire, often wearing men's clothing and even a ceremonial beard, which some Egyptologists believe emphasized her authority. But apart from her unconventional appearance, she proved to be a capable ruler, overseeing the expansion of the Egyptian empire and the construction of numerous monuments. Her legacy extends to her ambitious architectural endeavors, notably the construction of the famous mortuary temple, the Del el-Bahari.
Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
In 2018, a cafeteria worker in South Korea may have found a fortunate discovery when he found 7 gold bars in a trash can. While carrying out his duties, the man came across the bars, each weighing about 2.2 pounds. Astonishingly, they were wrapped in a newspaper. The total value of the bars is estimated to be around $250,000. Under the South Korea's Lost Article Act, the cafeteria worker may be entitled to a percentage of the gold's market price, ranging from 5% to 20%. However, there's a condition attached. He can only claim up to a certain amount if the gold is not linked to criminal activities. Police suspect the original owner disposed of the gold out of fear of being caught with it. Despite efforts, no one's come forward to claim ownership of this valuable find. In the Leipzig Zoo in Germany, female bears have astonished veterinarians by suddenly and unprecedentedly losing their hair. Dolores, one of the bears, has even become completely bald, except for a few patches of hair around her head. Additionally, all female bears suffer from severe rashes and skin inflammations. While some experts speculate that this may be due to a genetic defect, no other health problems have been observed in the animals. The cause of the bear's hair loss has sparked an ongoing debate between zoos and animal welfare groups. The latter argue that zoos provide an unnatural environment for animals, leading to severe stress. This stress can manifest in physical symptoms, such as fur loss, even at inappropriate times of the year. As climate change brings warmer winters, animals adapt to protect themselves. Originally from South America, the bears would normally have soft, dark brown hair and grow a thicker coat in preparation for the winter. However, if changing temperatures confuse the bears, their bodies may respond by shedding their fur. When you walk through Chernobyl, you'll quickly get the feeling that it could be haunted. Many people who have been to the area say they feel like they're being watched by something or even someone. Aside from the ghostly appearances and the lights in the buildings just going on and off, there's a story from a man named Andre. Andre was originally from New York and decided to visit the nuclear power plant in 1997. At night, he went by himself to the nuclear reactor 4, where the initial explosion occurred. But before he went in at the last minute, he decided that it was too dangerous because of the radiation. While he was taking the radiation readings, something frightening happened. He heard someone calling for help from inside the reactor. This would not be possible because the room had been locked for 3 years. Besides, you need a password and fingerprint to get in. So what did he hear? Did he make up the story, or could it have been a ghost? The Templar Tunnel, also known as the Tunnel of the Knights of the Temple, is an underground passage located in the city of Acre in present-day Israel. It's a remarkable archaeological feature associated with the medieval Templars. The tunnel was constructed during the 12th century AD, when the Crusaders established their presence in the region. It served as a strategic secret passage connecting the Templar fortress in the northern part of the city to the city's port in the south. Stretching about 1,150 feet or 350 meters, the tunnel allowed Templars to transport supplies and reinforcements, bypassing the busy city above. It was built by digging through solid rock and features a series of arches and steps. The construction of the tunnel demonstrates the engineering skills and military strategic planning used by the Knights of the Temple. However, it remained hidden for centuries, until the tunnel was rediscovered during excavations in Acre in the 1990s. Today, it's a popular tourist attraction, and a fascinating example of medieval underground architecture. The Chamarel 7-colored Earth Geopark in Chamarel Meridius is known for its unique geological formation. The Earth here displays vibrant colors ranging from red, brown, violet, blue, and green. It's literally a walk through a colorful landscape with millions of years of history. The colored sand dunes in the geopark are not only visually striking, but also believed, according to local legends, to have healing properties. It's believed that the different colored sands have different healing powers, and visitors take small vials of sand for their own healing purposes. The geopark also hosts a rare tree species known as Trochetta botania, which is found only in Meridius. The tree has bright pink flowers and is considered a symbol of the island's natural heritage. The geopark also houses a giant tortoise sanctuary, where visitors can get up close and even feed these gentle giants. The tortoises can live up to 200 years and are an important part of the Meridian culture. In Sangshuingdui, archaeologists discovered complex bronze objects and sacrificial pits with ancient treasures. However, the origin and legend surrounding Sangshuingdui remain shrouded in mystery, and scientists are still trying to reconstruct the true story behind the site. According to some sources, the people of Sangshuingdui were part of the Su Kingdom. This kingdom was ruled by a series of legendary kings, and some believe that the artifacts found in Sangshuingdui were part of their extravagant funeral rituals. Despite their ancient origins, the artifacts are remarkable in their level of detail and craftsmanship. From intricate bronze masks to elaborate golden ornaments, each piece is a testament to the skill and creativity of the people who made them. It's clear that the people of Sangshuingdui were deeply connected to their beliefs and traditions, and their art served as a way to connect with the divine. The Koso artifact is an object in which a spark plug was found encased in a 500,000-year-old lump of hard clay or stone by two gold diggers in California on February 13, 1961, and this was found in California on February 13, 1961. A spark plug is part of the ignition system of a mixture engine for providing an electrical spark. It's said to have been created in 1860. So how is it that this thing was stuck in something much older? There are several theories about the artifact's origin, including an ancient advanced civilization such as Atlantis, prehistoric aliens who visited Earth, or time travelers who lost the object while visiting the past. In 2018, it was confirmed that the artifact was a champion spark plug from the year 1920. Still, it remains a mystery how this object was stuck in a 500,000-year-old lump of clay or stone. In 1966, two adventurous young Californians embarked on a journey to Chihuahua, Mexico, driven by their fascination with mummies. Aware of the indigenous tribes historically using the cool, dry caves near Chihuahua as burial grounds, they set out in search of these ancient relics. Their efforts were rewarded with the discovery of mummified remains, including those of a teenage girl and a 1-year-old child. Smuggling the bodies across the border, they enlisted a friend to hide them in her garage. 14 years passed before the girls were discovered. Concealed among garden tools and moving boxes, the teenage mummy is estimated to have died between the years 1040 and 1260 AD. While limited info is available about the mysterious figure, local reports suggest it hails from northern Mexican state of Chihuahua. It resembles a human carcass with possibly animalistic features, but its true nature remains a mystery. It's believed that these mummified remains originated from a dried-up portion of a lake in northern Chihuahua. The peculiar yet striking mummy first caught attention on Facebook in 2016, arousing curiosity among enthusiasts. Reports surfaced of fishermen encountering the discovery, with Gonzalo Gardea witnessing the remains being dragged into the La Boquila Lake. In 2009, garbage remover Nick DeMola stumbled upon a barrel filled with clay artifacts, estimated to be nearly 2,000 years old, and originating from ancient Mexico. His company was tasked with clearing out an apartment in New York 5 years ago when he made the discovery. Initially, they brought the barrel back to the warehouse, but it remained there, largely forgotten, for at least 5 years. Recently, during a quiet period, they rediscovered it. Upon examining the artifacts, they discovered them to be authentic and quite valuable, worth thousands of dollars. Nick decided to bring a few pieces to antique art appraiser and dealer Howard Knows for authentication. Howard confirmed that some pieces were of Mayan origin, originating from Mexico, and estimated their value to be between $2,500 and $3,000. Despite his excitement over the find, Nick has no intention of keeping the Maya artifacts for himself. Instead, he believes they belong in a museum, where they can be appreciated by many. The Witch's Hill owes its name to Saint Gerard, a monk who arrived in Hungary in 1015 and originally perished in 1046. This occurred during an attack by barbaric Hungarians near the ferry station of Pest, at the foot of the Witch's Hill. A statue of the saint now stands at the east side of the hill, and legend has it that it served as a meeting place for witches for centuries. The first written account of this fact can be found in a Latin book, which is from 1656. In the most famous witch hunt in Hungarian history, which took place in 1728, 12 witches were sentenced to death for their involvement in these gatherings. The choice of St. Gerald Hill as a meeting place for witches can be attributed to several factors. The geographical location of the hill, thermal springs, sulfurous steam, and mysterious caves likely played a significant role. Additionally, the east side of the hill is rich in various herbs. Do you really think witches used to gather here? Let me know in the comments. A few days before the Chernobyl disaster, 5 of the workers came forward with a frightening claim. They told that they had seen a creature that looked like a large bird. Later, this creature became known as the Black Bird of Chernobyl. According to the story, those who claim they saw him are said to have terrible nightmares. It's said to have soared above the city with huge wings and red glowing eyes. It's believed that the Black Bird of Chernobyl is another form of another terrifying creature, known as the Mothman. According to the story, Mothman appears to warn people that something bad is about to happen. To this day, there have been several reports of the terrifying creature, including one from the year 2007. People who worked near the factory claim they saw creatures and had nightmares afterward. Do you believe that the Mothman exists? The Cave of Horror is a natural cave located in the Nath al-Hefer region of the Judean desert in Israel. It gained significant attention due to the discovery of ancient documents, known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1960, a shepherd stumbled upon the cave and discovered several ancient scrolls and artifacts. But what makes it terrifying are the countless skeletons that children mysteriously found there. They also found scrolls written on parchment, dating back to the Second Temple period. The Cave of Horror is primarily known for its association with the Bar Kokhba revolt, 132 to 136 AD, against the Roman Empire. Among the discovered documents were letters written by Bar Kokhba, the leader of the Jewish revolt, and his associates. These letters shed light on the historical and military aspects of the revolt and provide valuable insights into the struggle and aspirations of the Jewish people at that time. The discovery of these scrolls have significantly contributed to the understanding of ancient Jewish history and the development of Jewish religious thoughts. The Tong child is a fossilized skull of a young child belonging to the species of Australopithecus africanus. Discovered in 1924 in Tong, South Africa, it was found by miners and later identified as an early hominid by paleoanthropologist Raymond Dart. The Tong child provides valuable insights into our understanding of human evolution. While its brain size was relatively small, about 1/3 of the size of modern humans, the skull exhibits human-like teeth. The location of the large hole at the base of the skull suggests an outright posture similar to humans, not the knuckle-walking posture of apes. Initially, the small brain size led some researchers to reject the Tong child as a human ancestor. Recent research indicates that in early human evolution, bipedalism, walking on two legs, developed while brain size remained similar to that of apes, contradicting the earlier idea that brain enlargement occurred first. Animal fossils associated with the Tong child suggest an age range of approximately 2.3 to 2.8 million years. So far, we've mostly talked about history and discoveries. But how about something that might be 100 times more terrifying and disturbingly recent? Marriage and having children are natural and essential parts of human life. But when the Chinese government started monitoring the breeding suitability of millions of women in the country, it caused worldwide concern and outrage. According to reports, a database of 18 million women in China contained information about their marital status, age, education, and whether they were breeding ready. A term that many found both offensive and intrusive. The origin of the database is unclear, with some sources suggesting that it might have been created as a means to track population growth. Others suggest that it was intended to facilitate matchmaking. Regardless of the original purpose, the existence of such a database rightfully raised concerns about privacy and government control in China. In March 2017, archaeologists found a Celtic woman of about 40 years old buried in a tree trunk coffin, decorated with fine clothing and precious jewelry. The woman was found during a construction project near a school complex in some sort of hollowed-out tree in Zurich, a city in Switzerland. It's estimated that she was placed there about 2,200 years ago. However, it's so well preserved that archaeologists were able to uncover a whole lot of treasure bar information. An analysis of her teeth concluded that she liked to eat starchy and sweetened foods. Furthermore, so little physical labor would have been performed during her lifetime. And she wore a fine woolen dress with a scarf and coat made of sheepskin. Archaeologists were especially intrigued by her necklace, which was attached between two brooches, which allowed her to wear the cord of precious glass and yellow amber beads, which was very unique for the time. The 111 mummies in Guanajuato, Mexico present a macabre sight with their tormented facial expressions telling a tragic tale. These mummies, frozen in eternal screams, have captivated and horrified generations of visitors. In the 1830s, during a devastating cholera epidemic that ravaged the world, Mexico City lost 5% of its population. The underground burial sites quickly filled up, leading to the establishment of above-ground crypts to accommodate the influx of bodies. Due to the warm, dry climate, the partially embalmed corpses began to naturally process of mummification. However, in 1865, the local government imposed a burial tax, forcing families to pay for the upkeep of their loved ones. Those unable to afford the tax faced a grim fate. Their deceased relatives were forcibly removed from their graves and relocated to a storage facility. Scientists managed to identify 4 of the mummies. One woman, Ignacia Aguilar, was buried alive when the symptoms of her cholera stopped her heart. However, when she awoke in her grave, she bit her arm, filling her mouth with blood. 2 more bodies are of a mother and son, and 1 of a doctor. In July 2013, a couple from Massachusetts nearly avoided missing out on a $1 million jackpot after almost throwing away a winning scratch-off ticket. Joseph and Joanne were fortunate to recall accidentally tossing away their ticket and retrieved it from the trash. Joanne recounted how she sent her husband out to buy groceries and lottery tickets after their vacation plans were thwarted by a broken refrigerator. But during packing, they inadvertently left behind the ticket and instead went to a casino. It wasn't until arriving at the casino that Joseph realized the tickets were missing. Upon realizing this misunderstanding, he retrieved the discarded tickets from the trash the next morning to check if they had indeed won. And they had. The family claimed their prize and opted for the one-time $455,000 payment, which was after taxes, to support their family and pay off their mortgage. However, they also have plans to enjoy some leisure time with their newly acquired winnings. Walking through Chernobyl, even more than 30 years later, feels like walking through a ghost town. It has a creepy atmosphere, but in addition to the abandoned city, there are also a lot of creepy dolls that have been left behind in the area. No one knows where they came from, but it's believed that tourists left them to give the area an even darker feel. The dolls can be found almost everywhere. Some people claim that the dolls may even be possessed. Would you dare to visit Chernobyl? Let me know in the comments. Deeply concealed within the famous stone circle of Avebury, Britain's oldest and most mysterious relic has finally revealed its long-held secret. Archaeologists were astonished when they stumbled upon a hidden monument, a secret square space within the historic site, even older than the iconic Stonehenge. This discovery suggests that the standing stones that once formed a square enclosure once encircled a colossal obelisk of 23 feet or 7 meters, weighing over 100 tons, and possibly nearly 5,000 years old. Beneath this stone circle, a square of 98.5 feet or 30 meters was discovered, breaking the traditional round design of pagan monuments. Archaeologists now speculate that this square would have served as a commemoration of an early Neolithic house, possibly a representation of a fundamental settlement that ultimately evolved into a sacred gathering place, some remnants of which still exist today. While megalithic circles are well documented from the late Neolithic period when Avebury was built, square megalithic arrangements of this nature are exceptionally rare. The site known as Enisur is located in the Jezreel Valley and covers an area of about 160 hectares. It dates back to the early Bronze Age, around 5,000 years ago. The site was first discovered in the 1970s and has recently been re-excavated by a team of archaeologists. Enisur is considered one of the largest and most significant ancient cities in the region during its time. The site shows evidence of a highly organized and planned city center, with massive buildings, streets, alleys, and public spaces. It's thought to have been home to a large population, possibly in the thousands. The excavation has revealed various architectural features, including mud brick walls, stone foundations, and courtyards. Additionally, it's also yielded a wealth of artifacts, including tools, jewelry, and figurines, providing valuable insights during this period. The figurines discovered include both animal and human representations. They were crafted with various materials, such as clay and stone, and exhibit a range of styles and postures. The Plain of Jars is an archaeological landscape in Laos, a country in Asia. It consists of thousands of stone jars or pots scattered across. Archaeologists date the jars to the Iron Age, and is one of the most important prehistoric sites in Southeast Asia. More than 90 sites are said to have been identified. Each site has 1 to 400 stone jars, ranging between 3 and 10 feet or 1 and 3 meters. To date, the origin of the pots is quite unknown, although archaeologists believe that they were part of some kind of burial ritual. It's estimated that the pots were used about 1,500 to 2,000 years ago. In May 2019, 137 more pots were found in a remote mountainous forest, spread across 15 sites. Most of these are made of sandstone, but some are granite and limestone. According to researchers, the pots appear to have been created with some knowledge. Unfortunately, quite little is still known about whom the pots were made by or what their purpose actually was. Nowadays, thanks to modern technology, we have many resources to detect earthquakes, from GPS to satellite imaging. However, more and more often, technologies from history are being discovered that surprise us today.
What if we told you that ancient civilizations had eerie ways of predicting if an earthquake was imminent? While there were limited methods available at the time to predict earthquakes, Zhang Heng's device was a significant achievement and still considered a masterpiece of engineering to this day. The ancient Chinese seismometer, invented 2,000 years ago, is an incredible testament to the ingenuity of early scientists. The device was shaped like a bronze barrel, adorned with intricate engravings and inscriptions, but the inner workings of the seismometer were not visible. This ancient seismometer was designed to detect earthquakes through a complex system that could detect the slightest vibrations. Interestingly, during Zhang Heng's lifetime, the seismometer never predicted earthquakes, but it was able to detect small tremors occurring up to 800 kilometers away.
In the summer of 1934, amidst the rugged landscape of central Wyoming, Cecil Maine and Frank Carr set off an explosion in a ravine near the Pedro Mountains. In doing so, they uncovered an unexpected cave at the foot of a towering peak, overlooking the Pathfinder Reservoir. Intrigued, Cecil entered the cave and discovered a cramped space, where he saw the mummy perched on a rock ledge. This small figure, resembling a weathered old man, exuded an air of mystery, with closed eyes, crossed arms, and folded feet. Although there were no gold or treasures in the cave, finding this sea mummy was a puzzling discovery. X-ray examinations confirmed its authenticity, with flesh draped over a skeletal frame, complete with visible vertebrae, ribcage, and limbs. The mystery of this mummy is that it suddenly vanished in 1950. According to scientists, the mummy would not be a fabrication or an elderly individual, but a baby affected by a rare birth defect. Others speculate and blend it with local legends of little people, appearing in Native American lore throughout Wyoming. In April 2022, a disturbing discovery was made near a school in California when 2 rocket launchers and a practice grenade were found in a trash can at a residence. The proximity of the location to Liberty High School was less than a mile, and it immediately raised an alarm. Upon investigation, authorities found 2 disposable AT-4 launcher tubes and an inert practice grenade cut in half in the trash can. Although these items were not determined immediately dangerous, they raised serious concerns. Under the National Firearms Act, grenades and rocket launchers, often referred to as bazookas, are classified as destructive devices. While legal with proper registration, possession of such items is subject to further regulation by state and local governments. Treated as a misdemeanor, the offense can result in up to 1 year in prison and a fine of up to $1,000. If treated as a felony, offenders can face up to 3 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. Many people don't like spiders, but what's worse than spiders are radioactive spiders. The nuclear event caused much of the area to be destroyed, but a certain population of insects survived. Nowadays, there are still butterflies, grasshoppers, and spiders, even though they are in small numbers. However, these spiders do not cause you to turn into Spider-Man after a bite. That said, even though the spiders seem to look normal at first glance, their webs are quite abnormal. The effects of radiation are still relatively unknown, but a bite from a radioactive spider can be deadly. So I guess it's best to stay away from these spiders. Deep in the Finnish forest stands a mysterious rock that captures the attention of adventurers daring to explore the wild nature. According to the legend, this rock, known as Kumakivi, meaning strange rock in Finnish, was miraculously placed by a giant. Atop a rocky base rises a massive stone, stretching about 23 feet or 7 meters, and the most striking feature is the small contact point between these 2 rocks. According to Finnish folklore, Haisi, a type of giant, resides amidst rocky landscapes. These beings would throw stones, build stone piles, and carve strange holes in rocks, which are believed to have been used for churning milk. Local legends therefore suggest that the Kumakivi was brought to this spot by a giant or troll, perhaps rolled or thrown. However, geologists have a different explanation for the formation of this mysterious rock. They believe that during the last ice age, glaciers carried the massive stone to this location. When the glaciers melted over 12,000 years ago, this solitary rock remained. Whichever theory you believe, this remains an intriguing part of the Finnish wilderness. In 2016, a team of archaeologists from Tel Aviv University used handwriting analysis technology to study a collection of ancient Hebrew inscriptions. The inscriptions, dating back to around 600 BC, turned out to be written by at least 6 different authors. This discovery challenges the prevailing belief among scholars that the composition of biblical texts took place after the siege and destruction of Jerusalem by the Babylonians in 586 BC. It was suggested that the texts were written as a result of the exile to Babylon, as the compilers reflected on their past and documented their history. However, the findings of this study support an alternate theory.
This argues that the biblical texts were written in the late 7th century BC in Jerusalem, before the siege took place. The researchers examined 16 ink inscriptions on ceramic shards that were discovered at the site of the ancient military fortress in Arad, southern Israel. By using multispectral imaging and computer algorithms, they were able to reconstruct the Hebrew letters and distinguish the writing styles of the different authors. Lalibela is a remarkable UNESCO World Heritage Site in Ethiopia, renowned for its rock-hewn churches that have captivated visitors from around the world. These ancient churches are considered architectural masterpieces and are often referred to as the 8th wonders of the world. Carved from a single piece of volcanic rock, they display exceptional craftsmanship and technical skill. They were built during the 12th and 13th centuries under the rule of King Lalibela, who aimed to create a new Jerusalem in Ethiopia. Each church has a unique design and architectural style, ranging from simple structures to more elaborate and complex ones. Among the most notable churches are the Church of St. George, the Church of Mary, and the Church of Emmanuel. The churches of Lalibela are significant not only for their architectural value, but also hold immense religious and cultural significance. They're important pilgrimage sites for Ethiopian Christians and are still actively used for worship and religious ceremonies. The intricate carvings and decorations in the churches depict biblical scenes, saints, and various religious symbols. Visitors can explore the underground passages and interconnected courtyards that link the various churches together.
In 1999, a 20-year-old man was found in Mexico City in the ruins of the 650-year-old temple. The man was a descendant of the Aztec people. This group of people lived in central Mexico in the year 1300 to 1521. According to scientists, this man has been sacrificed. This was a religious ceremony for the Aztecs that they believed reassured their gods to spare them from suffering. However, this man was holding something in his hand. After 2 years of research, it turned out to be a death whistle. The sound coming from the whistle is one of the most terrifying things I've ever heard. Just listen. Scientists speculate that this whistle was used during human sacrifices to the gods or to scare their enemies. Just imagine an enemy hearing hundreds of different death whistles at the same time. You'd probably run off too.
You probably heard of the curse of the pharaohs and the mummies, but have you heard about the curse that emerged with the discovery of terracotta army? Emperor Qin Shi Huang, known for his paranoia, wanted those who disturbed his rest to suffer. Since farmers unearthed them in 1974, approximately 8,000 terracotta soldiers have been excavated, each with their own unique facial features. It's believed that Emperor Qin Shi Huang had them made to protect him in his afterlife, a testament to his paranoia and desire for immortality. While the discovery of the terracotta army was celebrated as a significant archaeological achievement, rumors of a curse associated with the site also surfaced. According to legend, 7 farmers involved in the discovery of the army all experienced terrible misfortunes. 2 died shortly after the discovery, while the remaining 5 were left in poverty and poor health. Some have attributed these hardships to the spirit of Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who may have been disturbed by the discovery of his army. Do you believe that this place is cursed? Let me know in the comments.
The Inca Empire, which spanned from around 1200 to 1533, once covered 2,485 miles of what is now present-day Peru and Chile. One of the most crucial ceremonies of the Incas was the Capacoca, a ritual involving human sacrifices, accompanied by offering a highly prized goods such as ceramic, precious metals, textiles, and shells. About 5 centuries ago, a teenage girl selected for sacrifice was buried near the summit of the Aparo volcano, which is in the Andes. In September 1995, Dr. Rohan Reinhard and his assistant Miguel Zarat stumbled upon this extraordinary find during their ascent. Climbing to the summit, which stands at 3,922 miles above sea level, they were met with a surprising sight. Part of the ridge had collapsed, revealing an Inca burial site, the contents of which lay about 230 feet below. Amidst the scattered artifacts, they discovered a bundle of cloth, beneath which lay the face of the Ice Maiden, known as Juanita. With careful attention, they transported Juanita down the mountain, where she now rests in a chamber maintained at -20 degrees Celsius. Subsequent studies have revealed that Juanita was a robust adolescent between the ages of 13 and 15 at the time of her death, succumbing to a fatal blow to the head. While driving through San Antonio, Texas in February 2024, a couple stumbled upon a discarded instrument, initially unaware of its value. What they took for ordinary debris turned out to be a rare violin, appraised for a significant amount. Featured on an episode of Antique Roadshow, the renowned PBS program for appraising valuable items, the violin piqued the interest of Peter Shaw. The man who discovered it shared that he had retrieved it from the trash while inspecting the contents of a military footlocker with his wife. Initially considering it spare parts for another violin, they later reconsidered after a San Antonio establishment offered them $1,000 for it. Upon closer examination, it was revealed that the violin was worth much more. Despite signs of wear and dirt, the internal label revealed to be an original Giuseppe Patrozzini from 1922. Peter estimated the value of the violin to be approximately $50,000 once cleaned and restored. The residents themselves are not one of the scariest things found in Chernobyl, but their determination is, as well as the life they lead. There are few people who choose to continue living in the radioactive area. The babushkas, as they're called, are mostly women whose greatest fear is not radiation, but hunger. They live off the land, the surrounding forest, and the food from their gardens. Popular to eat are the unique large mushrooms of Chernobyl, which can absorb radiation, and in addition, the trees are burned for fuel. The question is, why are these people still living here? This is because some of these women claim that those who left the area were worse off. Did you know that the origin of pandas remains a mystery to scientists due to the limited number of fossils available? There are two conflicting theories about where pandas come from. One theory suggests that pandas originated in Asia and migrated to Europe, while others propose that they evolved in Europe before moving to Asia. In the late 1970s, two petrified teeth were found in coal layers in northwestern Bulgaria. These teeth were examined by paleontologists decades later, revealing that they belonged to a new species of panda. This panda lived approximately 6 million years ago in the marshy, wooded areas of Bulgaria during the Miocene era, and it's the last known European giant panda. It was about the same size of today's giant pandas, but primarily consumed a vegetarian diet that did not include bamboo. The teeth lacked strength to crush bamboo, suggesting that they ate softer plants. The robust nature of these teeth likely served as an effective defense mechanism against predators. Unfortunately, it disappeared about 6 million years ago during the Messinian Salt Crisis, an event during which the Mediterranean Sea began to dry up. Tel Ashish is an archaeological site located in modern Israel. It was once a prominent Canaanite and Israelite city, and is mentioned in the Bible as a city conquered by the Assyrians and later by the Babylonians. A notable discovery in this city is an ancient toilet, providing insight into the sanitary facilities of that time. The ancient toilet in Tel Ashish consists of a stone seat with a hole, connected to an advanced drainage system. Waste would flow through the drainage system, likely to a nearby cesspit or sewer. This placement suggests that the toilet was intentionally positioned close to the religious space, possibly as a symbolic act. In some ancient temples and shrines, installing a toilet was considered an act of contempt towards the religious rituals performed there. This was seen as a sign that the people who visited the temples rejected the pagan practices and deities. According to the Bible, King Ezekiel attempted to centralize worship in Jerusalem and eradicate idolatry. Cliff Palace is the largest cliff dwelling in North America and is believed to have been built by the Pueblo peoples. This was a prehistoric indigenous group who created this extraordinary structure in 1200 BC. It's located in southern Colorado in the United States and is in the Mesa Verde National Park. The structure is built primarily of sandstone, mortar, and wooden beams, and it contains 150 rooms, with 23 recessed circular spaces that would have been for rituals and ceremonies. It's said to have taken about 20 years to complete, and it's estimated that the population of about 100 people lived here. But the strange thing about this is that the doors are relatively small in size. This could possibly explain why people were smaller than they are today. Some archaeologists think that Cliff Palace may have been the center of a large municipality with surrounding small communities.
The Klerksdorp spheres are small objects discovered near Otsdale in South Africa, in deposits of a mineral called pyrophyllite. This mineral occurs in rocks transformed by heat and pressure deep within the Earth's crust and has a leaf-like structure. They not only look strange, but are generally quite mysterious. The spheres vary in diameter from 0.2 to 4 inches, or 0.5 to 10 centimeters, and come in various shapes. They consist of minerals such as hematite, wollastonite, and pyrite, mixed with small amounts of other minerals. Geologists believe they formed about 3 billion years ago in volcanic sediments or ash. The stone spheres eventually changed through interaction with certain fluids, giving them unique patterns. However, there are theories that these artifacts placed out of context and made by intelligent beings. They're approximately 3 billion years old and simply too perfect to have a natural origin, according to some people. Rumors have circulated that NASA examined one of these spheres and determined it to be created in the weightlessness of space. Do you believe this? A cockroach farm may sound like a strange concept, but in some places, including China, it's a thriving industry that has existed for decades. In China, cockroach breeding began in the 1980s as a means to process food waste. The idea was to use cockroaches as natural and efficient ways to break down organic waste. These farms house billions of cockroaches, which are fed leftover food and scraps from local restaurants and food processing companies. Interestingly, cockroaches themselves are also a valuable commodity in China. Some farmers sell them to pharmaceutical companies, which use them to make traditional Chinese medicines, believed to treat ailments such as ulcers and respiratory problems. Additionally, their shells can be processed into protein powder for animal feed, or even converted into cosmetics. While the concept of a cockroach farm may seem unappealing to some, proponents argue that it's a more sustainable and environmentally friendly approach. However, concerns have been raised about the conditions in which the cockroaches are kept, as well as the risk of disease transmission.
Have you ever seen a real mummy? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.